Alright, hello and welcome to this week's stream of the competitive EDH Reddit tournament. I'm Siggy. I'm gonna be by myself on commentary today because Dan can't join me, unfortunately. I'm also a bit sick, but I hope you guys won't mind. So, today's pod is Suganda Raja, or also known as Aiden, from the CDH Discord, Empedocles, Reverse Mermaid of Jeliver Slim fame, and a person called Play for Zero Mana. Playing things for zero mana is always a good idea, as most of us probably know. Okay. Interesting, it looks like some other people are going to be streaming this game. We'll see how that goes. I need to do something about my cockatrice. There we go. So yeah, people seem to be taking a bit of time to like finish setting up and everything. But we should be good to go sooner rather than later. Okay. Definitely lots of spectators here in this game. Let's hope it's gonna be a good one. Oh god, even more people coming in. Um, Partially because of budget constraints, like you wouldn't really want to make anyone who doesn't want to get an MTGO collection just like make them buy the deck. And because MTGO can sometimes be a steaming pile of shite, let's be honest here. Alright, looks like players are ready. Let's see what everyone's gonna be on. We've got Empedocles on Captain Sisse, the Paradox build, I'd imagine. We've got Reverse Mermaid on the one deck he is known for. Jeliver, Storm, Doomsday, Nonsense. And we've got Raja here on Selvala, Heart of the Wilds. A fairly popular commander as of late, but one that has been underperforming in this tournament so far. Also, there's Play for Zero Mana on Thrasios and Timna, a combination of commanders that has been popular in a variety of builds. Play for Zero Mana will also be the person to go first. Let's see, we've got mulligans coming in from Empedocles and Play for Zero Mana so far. Reverse Mermaid seems to be happy with his first hand. Yeah, it would be good if you closed the stream. Good luck to all of our contestants in this round, and we should be off to the races soon. Yep, there we go. Everyone is ready, and we'll have play for 0 mana on the play. Let's see what he does. He's creating a bunch of priority tokens. That's not something I've seen people do before. Oh, he's passing them out. Interesting. But that's probably not a bad idea if you're not playing over voice, just some way to signify whether you want to do something or not, because people do have a tendency to play somewhat quickly, and it often happens that people just sort of gloss over the priority part of everything, although it's fairly important. Right, let's see. Bloodstained Mire, crack. Finding probably like Underground Sea or Tropical Island, I suppose. Oh, Bayou, that's very interesting. I don't think I've seen many people fetch for a turn 1 Bayou before. And here's a Chrome Mox. Imprinting Chain of Vapor. Using up a lot of space to do that, but that's okay. Alright, so he's got 2 mana on turn 1. What's that gonna be? Bloom Tender. Okay. Yeah, that's a decent turn 1. He's gonna have like 4 or more mana on turn 2. Right, let's see what Selvala has to offer here. Snow covered. Sure, why not? Is this going to be the infamous turn 1 mana dog, turn 2? Oh no. Main phase crop rotation, that's interesting. What's he gonna get here? Just Cradle? No. What's that? Ooh, interesting. That's kind of cool. I'm honestly not particularly experienced when it comes to playing with or against this mono green Selvala deck, so take everything I say about it with a grain of salt. That was kind of a cool move though. Basically like playing a mana dog, just slightly differently. At the same time, however, we do have a mana dog coming out from Empedocles. Oh, the classic turn 1 Mox Opal without any other artifacts. That's always a good one. Okay, he's playing Thrasios. That's kind of interesting. I don't usually see people playing Thrasios this early. I suppose it kind of makes sense. Yeah, he was going to use the Bloom Tandem mana to do something. So turn 2 Thrasios is probably perfectly reasonable. Let's see, is this also going to be turn 2 Selvala? And a Wirewood Lodge. That's kind of good. We do have a blue player on 1 open mana. Let's okay, he tapped his priority token, probably indicating that he does not plan to do anything. Yep, that's a turn 2 Selvala. Things might get dangerous next turn. Meanwhile, Empedocles seems to be getting ready to potentially cast Sisay on turn 3, which is definitely also a decent thing to do. Alright, basic island. Cool, cool. Let's see if Reverse Mermaid can maybe... Ah, he can't. I was hoping he was going to be able to play a couple of artifacts this turn, so he'd turn on his Mox Opal. However, it seems like he's sitting on a bit of a slow hand, which, on top of going last at a table that's full of fast combo decks, is probably not great. So he is definitely in a bit of a rough spot right now. Oh, alright, we've got some Sylvan Library action here. And yeah, Rev does seem to need a couple of good draws here. Probably draws that are significantly better than the ones his opponents have, which is gonna be kinda tough when you're up against a Sylvan Library and a Selvala that'll probably start drawing a bunch of cards next turn. But we'll see how it goes, I suppose. We've got the classic coming out from play for 0 mana, probably indicating that he wants to take some time to think about certain things. Let's see what he comes up with. Still thinking. And he passes the turn. Seems like he might potentially want to leave up some kind of interaction or something similar. To be fair, in Thrasios decks, that's probably not a bad idea, because even if the game gets to a very grindy point where people do not have a lot of cards available to them, Thrasios is the kind of card that can just give you a lot of incremental advantage over that time. Alright, let's see what's gonna happen on Salvala's side of the table here. Because turn 3 is, let's say, one of the more usual points for that deck to just go ahead and win the game. However, there are 2 blue players at the table that have both left all of their mana open, so interaction should probably be expected. Right, starting things off easy with an Invigorate. That's definitely a good start. Buffing up Selvala. I suppose he might go for the initial tap here. The kind of cool thing here with Wirewood Lodge is that you could just spend one of the greens you made from Selvala to untap her again and make like 11 mana right here. Alright, Empedocles passes priority. It goes to Reverse Mermaid. Let's see what he's got. He taps 2 and counterspells the Invigorate. That's probably a good idea right now. So Invigorate does not resolve. Let's see if Raja has more gas here to maybe still try to go off, or if he's gonna pass the turn. He taps the Wirewood Lodge. That's quite interesting. Ah, okay, so he's making a bunch of mana here. Namely 4. To cast a Ravaging Riftworm. Sure. Cool. So he now has a 6/6 that he can use to start generating a bunch of mana, probably next turn, unless he has some kind of way to untap Selvala here. One thing I do find interesting, however, is that he did decide to tap the Wirewood Lodge to cast the Ravaging Riftworm. But that probably makes sense if he decides that waiting another turn cycle to go off is the better plan. And I think I do agree with him here. Meanwhile, Empedocles is resolving a Worldly Tutor to get Linvala, Keeper of Silence. That's smart, because Linvala is quite good at keeping Selvala in check, and Raja would probably have been able to go off next turn. So here's... oh, he's playing Captain Sisay instead. So he tutored for Linvala, but decided not to use her. That's very interesting. I wonder what he was thinking right there. Because right now, to me, it seems like the line he's taking with casting Sisay is basically trying to outrace Selvala. Yeah, that's also true. It turns off Bloomtender and Thrasios, which definitely would have slowed down our Thrasios and Tymna player. Now, let's see, maybe he's got something up his sleeve. I don't know what it could be, but I guess we'll find out. At the same time, here's Reverse Mermaid coming out with a Sensei's Divining Top that should probably help get him at least a bit further through his deck to try to find some of the cards he needs, be it interaction or be it cards he needs to combo off. He goes on to pass his turn. However, at the end of his turn, play for 0 mana, activates Bloom Tender and taps a bunch of mana to activate Thrasios. That's always decent. If there's not much else you can do with your mana right before your turn, you can always go for the cheeky Thrasios activation, and that's a windfall. Nice. Which basically means that if he so desires, he'll be able to wheel away Empedocles's Linvala. Alright, still at the end of Reverse Mermaid's turn. He's thinking. He's got 1 blue mana open. And he goes to his turn. Yeah, Windfall would definitely be good for, or would be better for other people at the table compared to what he'd probably get off it. Unless he can, of course, just go ahead and win. He seems to be a bit stuck on lands, at least going by what he just said in chat. That is unfortunate, of course, but at least he's got the Sylvan Library to dig him out of there. And if he so desires, he cannot cast Tymna because he doesn't have access to white mana. That's unfortunate. Wait, so he draws 3 cards and moves to main phase. Okay, he took 8. Let's see. Those are probably gonna be some pretty good cards he got there, because his Ad Nauseam basically just got turned off. He did pay 8. Oh, yeah, he is not casting that Windfall. Okay. He's also taking his time to think things through right now. Definitely a good idea when you've got 9 cards in hand and at least one deck is potentially threatening to win the game next turn. Yeah, taking 8 off library repeatedly, even if uncomfortable, is usually a good idea when your life total is not threatened in any other way. And if we take a look around this table, then I think we can all say, or all agree, that life totals are not particularly important here. Hmm. There's some discussion going on in the chat right now about what Play for Zero Mana could or could not do. He does bring up an interesting question that is actually quite relevant in EDH. Deciding which person at the table to stop. I mean, at face value, it's quite obvious. You stop the person that's gonna go for the win. But there's also, let's say, another level to it where you can see if anyone else can or will stop that person, because that would mean that basically two people at the table are dealt with instead of one. So even if people are threatening a win, it's not always correct to be the first one to respond to them. I think, quite honestly, that out of all the decks at the table, Selvala is the one that's the most threatening right now. It's kind of weird though, cause in a way you've got Selvala being threatening, but you also know that Sisay has the perfect card to deal with Selvala in their hand. However, first of all, Sisay comes after Selvala, and Selvala is basically threatening a win right now. And it also you also don't necessarily need Sisay to cast Linvala. Like, Sisay can just go ahead and try to go off here. It's entirely possible. And yeah, that's basically what's being discussed here in chat right now. Okay. He'll do what he can and hope for the best. Let's see how it goes, I suppose. Here's a blue mana. Oh, let's see what's going on here. Rex Sage on Felwar Stone. Okay. That's interesting, definitely. This basically means that he is kind of forcing Empedocles into playing Selvala or having something that'll make him a bunch of free mana next turn. Ah, that's cheeky. I like it. So he basically hid the Chain of Vapor, or saw the Chain of Vapor on top with his top activation, and now he drew it and is attempting to cast it on Selvala. It's going to resolve, which of course means that Selvala will be slowed down quite a bit. He also decided not to copy it, which I suppose is reasonable considering that there's not really a land he wants to sacrifice like that. Also, remember what we said about life totals a couple of minutes earlier, because there's a 6/6 on the field right now, and it might go ahead and smash somebody in the face. Alright. Oh, Selvala player decides not to play out Selvala again. That's definitely an interesting choice. He also decides not to attack anyone with his Ravaging Riftworm, which is definitely interesting. He might possibly subscribe to my school of thinking, because I believe that the combat step may as well not exist. Meanwhile, Sisei goes ahead and finds a Gaia's Cradle, which is definitely one of the more broken things you can do with Sisei. Also means he's got access to 5 mana now, so if he has the Paradox Engine in his hand, things are bound to get rather spicy here. He probably would have hit one Ad Norse player if he had remembered to do so. Forgetting combat is one of the things that's quite common among competitive EDH players. I also do it fairly frequently. But see, there's a really easy solution to that, and that's just don't play creatures. Alright, so here's the Linvala that was tutored up. Selvala is basically, I think, locked out for now, unless he finds some way to deal with Linvala, which is not very easy in mono green. Maybe if he has like a Prey Upon or something in his hand. Oh, nice. That's a Toxic Deluge for 3? Oh, that's cheeky. I like it. Basically keeping Linvala on the table while getting rid of all the other rubbish. That's a good play. Yeah, that top has been really good for Reverse Mermaid so far. Oh my god, why do you do this? Why does he have to do this to us? You may not be the king of suboptimal plays, Mr. Play for Zero Mana, but you are definitely the king of unesthetical board states. Alright, that's a Noxious Revival. Let's take a quick look. Ah, he's just getting Bloodstained Mire. Ah, those kind of Noxious Revivals always feel a bit sad when all you can really do is make your land drop for the next turn. However, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad play or anything. It's probably very much justified in his case. It's just always sad. It's not really something you want to do. What you consider the command zone here is actually the stack. So all of the commanders right now are theoretically on the stack, and you can't put counters on cards that are on the stack on Cockatrice. In theory, you can in actual Magic, for instance, on cards like, I think it's Lightning Storm, the win con in Modern ad nauseum, but it's not something you can do on Cockatrice. The way I do it is the way Empedocles does it here. I just use the orange button to count up my command attacks. Alright, he's paying 4 this time, getting 2 cards instead of just 1 or 3 like he did last turn. Getting Bloom Tender removed was definitely not great for him, I feel, because that did make 2 mana, so he's up to 5, but now he's down to 4 again. He does have a full grip of 7 cards though, so let's see where that goes. In my personal opinion, there's not a ton to be scared of right now. Actually, yeah. Raja is pretty much on point with what he's saying. Neither Selvala nor Sisay are probably gonna go off anytime soon at this point. They're gonna take at least like another 2 turns, possibly even 3, to to get close to threatening a win. While Jeleva, depending on the cards he's got here, might even be able to just go off now. Or rather when it's his turn again, since we did start turn cycle 4 just now. Or turn cycle 5. I honestly don't quite remember. And play for 0 mana passes his turn. Interesting. See, this is the kind of situation where I'd possibly consider just playing out Tymna. I mean, if he doesn't have a 1 mana counter spell, then it's definitely fair to hold up 2 mana, but fetching for a land that can make white and casting Tymna here might be reasonable if you think that the game is going to go on for another 2 or 3 turns at least. Alright, here's Selvala again. Pedocles and Reverse Mermaid. Pass priority and play for 0 mana seems to be thinking. Or not. Oh yeah, that is a good point. Play for 0 mana is probably not running Scrubland or anything like that. So Bloodstained Mire is a bit awkward here. At the same time, we've got Empedocles just hitting Reverse Mermaid in the face because he's the Adnars player with the higher life total. There's a Sanctum Prelate coming. That is a new card, but also a very good card. It's in a weird way, it's kind of stronger than Chalice of the Void, because Uh, it doesn't counter spells, it makes them uncastable in the first place. So, for instance, if you wanted to remove Chalice with an Abrupt Decay, that works. You cannot, however, cast Abrupt Decay to remove Sanctum Prelate, because you can't cast it in the first place. Calling 5 seems a bit ambitious. I think he's probably gonna go for 1 or 2, maybe. I think I might go for... It's tough. It really is a tough choice. I think I'd personally go for 1, but we'll see where it goes, I suppose. Oh, there's a Godless Shrine, there we go. So he could have actually cast Timna if he had so desired. Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of surprised he didn't get Scrubland here instead of Godless Shrine. Maybe he's just playing his paper list online or something like that. However, here's an Enlightened Tutor. Oh yeah, it could also be in his hand. That's a good point. However, if it had been in his hand, why would he have Noxious Revivaled for a Bloodstained Mire then? So I don't think it's in his hand. Hmm. Definitely some funky stuff going on here. He's also getting Mana Crypt to interesting. So I feel like this Mana Crypt is basically saying, alright, I'm gonna go off in a turn or two. Because if it doesn't mean that, he is gonna have a very rough time with his current life total. Mind you, all of this is happening with a Sanctum Prelate on the stack. Here's a Snapcaster Mage. Okay, let's take a quick look. Is he bringing back Noxious Revival again? Or Enlightened Tutor? Wait, that seems not amazing. Like, Enlightened Tutor. Okay, he does bring back Noxious Revival to what's he getting back? Bloodstained Mire again. Oh boy. Okay. This guy really needs some mana next turn, it seems. To Twitch chat, Bomberman unfortunately does not work with a Linvala out, since Linvala makes it so Aureox Salvages can't be activated. He names 3. Okay. Cool. I don't think I would have named 3 there. I wonder what he's trying to hit. Oh yeah, right. Doomsday, Wheel of Fortune, Yogwill. That's a very good point. Yeah, maybe 3 is quite a lot better than I thought, because, well, it doesn't shut off like rituals or cantrips. It does shut off the big spells that like sort of bring you back when you're down a couple of cards. Not gonna lie, I am a bit sad to see Cute Trick go again. I know it deserves to be gone, but it was such a funny emote. Alright, and Rev passes his turn to play for 0 mana, who is probably gonna have a bunch of mana this turn. Definitely lots of cute tricks, cute tricks happening this game. Alright, so here's 2 draws of draw for his turn, and Sylvan Library were the Bloodstained Mire and the Mana Crypt he tutored and revivaled for respectively. Which means that he's gonna have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 mana this turn, which might potentially be enough to go off if he can somehow deal with other cards. Incremental life. Is he just gonna play Aetherflux Reservoir right now? Or is... Oh, mate. Don't do it. Oh, he did it, the absolute madman. See, I don't think I agree with that. I'd rather have kept the reservoir out. or like in my hand, and I would have played Tymna instead, especially with the Snapcaster Mage out. Like Tymna lifelinks, which offsets some of the life loss, and uh, Snapcaster and Tymna can slowly start beating people down and drawing cards. I mean, he's probably got a plan for this that I'm not necessarily seeing right now, but I feel like Tymna should have come out at some point. Yeah. Yeah, he did that. I mean, he does have a bunch of cards he can play, absolutely. But, whew, I don't know, man. Just playing Reservoir is not a thing I personally like to do in most decks. Not gonna lie, this game is definitely taking a bit longer than I had anticipated. Let's see, we've got some combat goodness going on here. Declaring attackers, sending Selvala at Reverse Mermaid. Cool. Oh, here's an Eternal Witness. Let's see what he can get. I suppose he can get back Ravaging Riftworm or Invigorate to start another attempt at going off. Oh no, he's getting Crop Rotation instead. Okay. So, Crop Rotation for some kind of big mana land, I suppose. I mean, honestly, at this point, it's not unjustified to just go down the combat route and try to win by murdering people. That's a good point, Rev. I'm. See, I never play Snow Covered because that shit's for nerds. So I don't know my niche snowlands. I'm very sorry. But yeah, Mouth of Ronom to deal with Linvala is absolutely a viable play. Empedocles, meanwhile, is trying to resolve Sisse again. probably hoping to have another go at comboing off next turn, and he's sending some creatures at people, namely Sanctum Prelate at Reverse Mermaid and Linvala at Play for 0 mana. Play for 0 mana at the same time advocates for hitting, having both creatures hit Reverse Mermaid. I'm not sure I agree with that, but he is entitled to his personal opinion, just as everyone else is. Oh, they brought it back. I love you people. Gotta get some cute tricks in there. Alright. It's back to Rev's turn now. He's still... Ah, there we go. 4th land. That's always good. He's activating Sensei's Divining Top in his main phase, possibly trying to find some kind of sorcery speed stuff, hoping to get out of this mess. He goes on to pass his turn. Play for 0 mana is either thinking really long and hard right now, or he went AFK. Both are possible. Oh no, he taps the Mox Diamond, so things might be happening. Nope, things are not happening because of Sanctum Prelate. I suppose we've all made that kind of mistake before. He's tapping 1 now. To a Mystical Tutor. He also gets an Aetherflux Reservoir trigger. Who knows, maybe he's gonna be able to go off soonish. I mean, like, normally you'd probably go for Ad Norse here, but considering he's at 19 life, that's probably not his best option. And he still does it, the absolute madman. Maybe he's got Angel's Grace in hand? Who knows? Oh, come on, you can't tell me he's going for a 19 life ad nauseum. That can't be good. If he draws off Sylvan Library here, then oh boy. Wait. Why? Maybe he's not actually going to main phase Adnors if he thinks about this for such a long time. Also, he did put Adnors on top. Okay. He is really taking his time to think about this. Jesus. Oh boy. I don't know. I don't want to talk shit, but I don't feel like every potential line of play needs to be talked about like that in chat. But maybe that's just me. Alright, he drew one card, which makes sense considering there's an ad nos in those top 3 cards. And he passes the turn. Okay, seems like that if he actually drew Adnos here, he's gonna sit on it for a bit until somebody decides to do something. This is definitely one of the more drawn out all combo games I've seen. Here we go. End step crop rotation from Sugandha Raja. Let's see if he's gonna go for that spicy Mouth of Ronom tech Ref suggested earlier, or if he is just gonna try to get a bunch of mana. Nope, there it is. Nice, I like it. Could have went for a time twister. What the fuck? I'm stupid. Yeah. No, wait, that's 3 mana. Yeah, exactly. You cannot go for a time twister with a Sanctum Prelate out. Okay, Mouth of Ronom, here we go. Hmm. Yes, that does indeed kill the Linvala. Alright, combat. Interesting. Let's see where this goes. Okay. Not gonna lie, I'm kinda surprised to not see him use Selvala for mana here. He's probably got something else planned. But tapping for 2 seems kinda decent. Ah, no, sorry, I'm an absolute idiot. He can't do that with Linvala out, of course. Disregard what I just said. Five entire monos, indeed. Oh, meanwhile, oh, there's the Paradox engine. Oh boy, somebody better have a counterspell for that. Fuck, he says, probably feeling bad about not having chosen right on the Sylvan Library. Rev, in the meantime, spins his top in an attempt to possibly find something. There's also a chance somebody's just holding a Nature's Claim. We'll see, I suppose. Wow, he finds the Force of Will. Oh, what a player. Of the 3 interactive top activations he's done so far, he's found something every time. That is very impressive. And here's a Galactique to follow it up. That at least means that nobody can cast ad nauseum. However, we've actually talked about this on the Discord earlier today. Galactique has not been as good lately. I can still see him doing quite a bit of work here, but generally speaking, I think I agree with that notion. Especially because it doesn't really stop food chain decks, like, at all. Teague on the stack. Play for 0 mana is thinking whether he wants to cast his ad nauseum now. Which also means he needs to keep in mind that he can just get beaten in the face for 5+ damage. and he's already at 19. It is a bit hard, but I think if you were planning to add Nors at some point, now is probably the time, uh, even if it's probably not gonna draw more than like 5 or 6 cards. Okay, he said he's gonna do stuff. Let's see what he's gonna do. He makes a bunch of mana, leaving 1 blue and 1 of any color open. Nope, he also taps the Chrome Mox and untaps it again. Seems a bit indecisive. Nope, there we go, he's paying 5, it's probably gonna be ad nauseum. Yep, there it is. Hold priority. Oh, does he have the Angel's Grace? He does. Oh boy. This basically means that somebody needs to come up with a counter to the ad nauseum, or things are gonna be quite problematic. Potentially. Then again, he would be at a ton of negative life, which means that he'd basically have to win on end step, and that's not particularly easy. Alright, Adnor's on the stack. Here's some tapped mana from the Selvala player. De-Glamour. That's a card I haven't seen before. Choosing Aetherflux Reservoir to shuffle it back into its owner's library. Oh, that's nice. Definitely cool in the sense that he's not gonna gain a bunch of life off his Aetherflux Reservoir now. So there is a chance he's just dead. Also, I think Play for Zero Mana has actually missed something here. So he doesn't actually want to draw his whole deck. Okay. I Oh my god, not this again. Yeah. An important thing to note here is that even with Angelus Grace, Ad Nauseam will put you at a negative life total because um, Angelus Grace only prevents damage that would reduce your life total like beneath 1, and Ad Nauseam causes life loss instead of damage. A rather important distinction. Also, god, what's he even doing here? Oh, this. So, here's an interesting thing. He says he's always at 1 life, but he's not actually at 1 life. Am I allowed to tell him that? Seems like the in-game chat already caught on. Um, this is. It would be a bit of a bummer to see the game end this way, but. I mean, there's not much else to say other than he fucked it up. Then again, if you make a mistake like that one time, you're probably not making it ever again. Alright, everyone's back again. Play for 0 mana's life total is probably at negative a bunch. So if he doesn't win on end step here, I mean, there's still a Gaddock Teague on the stack as well, but if he doesn't win right here, then he has probably fucked up big time. See, if he were playing Shimmermere now, this wouldn't be as much of an issue. But I feel like that's a piece of tech that not a lot of people have been using, especially not in any sort of Thrasios lists. Seems like he copied the list from somewhere. I mean, there's 3 big Thrasios and Tymna lists going around with the Buried Alive combo made by Tenrose and Chemtails, the Doomtide list made by Dandelion, and the Paradox Scepter list made by Lil Brother. From what I've seen so far, I'm probably putting this guy on either Doomtide or Paradox Scepter. Or it's like a modified version of one of those. But yeah, he dies. That's quite unfortunate, but such is life. Let's see where these other three decks go. I've honestly got no idea who I'd put as in the lead right now. I think possibly Empedocles, maybe Suganda Raja if he can deal with Linvala appropriately. But yeah, definitely a weird game. Alright, Rev passes his turn. So Raja untaps. The issue here is that if he does go for the Mouth of Pharaonom, he doesn't have a lot of mana left for his turn. The only stuff he's got would be Selvala, and she only taps for 2 right now. Alright, start combat. Is he just going after Rev? Because I'm not 100% sure if that's what should be happening right now. Because I think that he might need Rev's help to deal with Sisei's board state here. Alright, Sisei untaps. There's probably some kind of way for him to get back Paradox Engine from his graveyard, but this is another deck I do not have a lot of experience with, so guess we'll just have to wait and see. Oh, that's some really cool tech here though, the Eigunjo Castle. Because you can just tap it for a white to prevent the next 2 damage that would be dealt to your Linvala that's currently keeping Suganda Raja in check. So Mouth of Pharaonom doesn't actually do anything. Unless he hits one of the other 3. Which he honestly doesn't really care about. Yeah, that was a very good find there. Okay, he's tapping Sisei. Let's see what he's gonna go for here. Looking at his library. Elishnorn. I like that a lot. He's basically just abandoned his combo plans, considered his board state for a moment, and decided that beating people in the face was the better option, and I wholeheartedly agree. Oh, nice. Here's some spicy new tech that was included in a lot of decks recently in the form of delay, which has proven itself to be, I think, easily one of the best counter spells in the entire format. However, he is promptly paid back for that by being beaten down to 1 life thanks to Sisei's board state. Oh boy, this is a tough spot. Ancient Tombs turned off, so he basically has 3 mana right now. Yeah. He's replaying Sensei's Divining Top, possibly in the hopes of finding something else. Oh, there's a Lion's Eye Diamond. Ooh, that's cheeky. And he discards his hand. Playing Geleva? Ooh. Okay. He is digging hard right now. Hmm. And he passes the turn. Okay. Just to show what he exiled with his Lion's Eye Diamond and what he, binned with his LED and exiled with Geleva. You can take a closer look here in the bottom right now. There goes the Mouth of Veronum activation on the Sanctum Prelate. Possibly attempting to force Empedocles to tap out before going to his turn. At least I think that's the intention here. Oh no, excuse me, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I thought he was still trying to go for the Linvala, but he is actually going for the Sanctum Prelate instead, which is of course perfectly reasonable since that cannot be protected by a Gunjo castle. Hmm. There is a chance that this game will actually go to a point where the time counters on Elishanorn wear off. Because I think Rev's probably gonna die now. Which means that it'll be a heads-up game between Sugandharaja and Empedocles, with the latter probably being favoured since he has a bunch of dudes on the board. And there's the attack on Reverse Mermaid. He taps the Ancient Tomb to murder himself in response. And there we go, we're down to 2. GG, well played to Reverse Mermaid. He tried hard. His Senses Divining Top found a lot of cards. Unfortunately, in the end, it doesn't even matter. Wow, that's some spicy tech here coming from Empedocles with Reiki, the history of Kamigawa. I like it. Hmm. Is he just ready to go off here? I'm asking honestly because I have no idea. But he does have a lot of stuff. Oh, nice. 2 Selvalas on the field now. Competing for superiority in the Selvala card power rankings or something like that. I don't know, we've been at this for 2 hours. I'm out of entertainment. Oh, there's the beast within on the Linvala. He found it. However, there is a response. Swords to Plowshares on the mono green Selvala. Oh boy. Cool. That's definitely a thing. Alright, sorry for that. I had to go AFK for a couple of minutes. As we can all see, Empedocles has basically got this game on lockdown. Elishnorn is coming back now, and he can swing at Saganda Raja with an army of very, very large creatures. Yep, he also gets a draw trigger. I'm not sure if it adds up to a 37 damage quite yet, but oh boy, it's a lot. 28, 31. It does add up, so if he attacks with every creature that's able to attack right now, meaning every creature except for Elishnorn, he would threaten lethal, but Saganda Raja, of course, has the Eternal Witness to block at least one creature. Oh yeah, no, he doesn't. Eternal Witness dies. That's right. Since it gets -2/-2 from Elishnorn. So, yep, that's basically GG. And well played to Empedocles. A well-deserved win in a really tough pod. But he managed to navigate his way towards victory. And there we go. That's the GG. Well played. This was once more the Reddit competitive EDH tournament round 3. I'm signing off, so see you all next week. Possibly.